Hi, welcome everybody to a quick shot on the Martinis with Scott channel. Today we're going to talk quickly about post-money and pre-money valuations and why they are important. Post-money and pre-money business valuations become really relevant when you're talking to venture capitalists, private equity funds, and just generally having a discussion about business valuations, particularly when you are an entrepreneur and your business is growing rapidly. It's a concept that you need to understand. You need to get the lingo right so that you're on the same page with everybody else. Easiest way to understand pre-money, post-money is to use an example. So let's jump into one right now. Here's a set of facts. You've got a business that should be worth $100 million according to your discounted cash flows. And, you've dealt with risk, you've dealt with time value of money, and everybody agrees this thing should be worth $100 million, except you have to have $25 million in fresh capital as part of that plan, right? Because you need to ramp up, you need to hire people, you need to do whatever. You need to spend $25 million as part of that business plan. So if it's worth $100 million, but you need 25 to get there, the post-money valuation is $100 million. And the pre-money valuation is 100 million minus 25 million is $75 million. Don't get hung up on the quantum. By the way, this could easily be $1 million that requires 250,000 would be worth 750,000 pre-money. Okay, so let's stick with my example. Now, so you're $75 million pre-money. Let's say you have 1 million shares outstanding right now. That is $75 per share. Here's where it gets a little bit tricky, and I find entrepreneurs make a mistake. Non-financial people make a mistake on this, is they think, okay, when they bring the money in, they're worth $100 million, and they're still and now they're $100 million. $100 a share because there's 1 million shares outstanding and $100 million. Well, that's wrong, because what they forget is you have to issue new shares to raise that $25 million. So you raise $25 million by issuing treasury shares at the pre-money valuation per share of $75. That means you issued 333,333 new shares for a total of 1,333,333 shares. And if you divide that into $100 million post-money valuation, you magically come up with $75 a share still. So you're $75 per share on a post-money basis. You're $75 per share on a pre-money basis. Your pre-money valuation is 75. Your post-money valuation is 100 million. You need to get that right. And one way to avoid confusion is to talk about price per share. As you can see, it ends up being the same thing. Here's another way to think of the exact same example. You're an entrepreneur and you say to a VC, I'll tell you what, I need $25 million to build my business, and I will give you 25% of my company. What is the math on that? What is the post-money valuation on that? 25 million divided by 25%, so 0.25 equals 100 million post-money valuation. Pre-money valuation, 100 minus 25, $75 million. Understand the lingo. Understand that you need to justify your $75 million pre-value valuation in terms of the IP that you've built, if you're a tech company, the work that's gone into it, the cost that's gone into it. And $100 million is, from a VC's perspective, what they need to base their return on investment on, because that's the real number there. Thank you for listening. This was a quick shot on the Martinis with Scott channel. Please subscribe. We're on YouTube, iTunes podcasts, Spotify. Search and hit the subscribe button. I hope this was helpful. Talk to you later.